Hi, welcome to Remove Logic Radio, everybody. Come on in. Time to hop on. Um, Welcome to Remove Logic Radio. And I am your host, Karen Ray Lacey. We are here every Thursday night at 7 p.m. You can catch me on Fishbowl Radio Network, which is where we are broadcast from. And we have our Facebook page, our YouTube channel. So if you want to hop on either of those, or if you want to catch a replay, you can catch us on Fishbowl Radio Network and Facebook, YouTube as well. So Remove Logic Radio. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. I'm glad that you decided to spend your evening once again with me. Let me start out by saying happy first day of spring. It's the first day of spring. I know you see the colors around me are trying to get acclimated to. Look, spring sunshine coming out of the winter. I am so excited about spring because summer is around the corner, and that is my time of year. I am not a winter person. So anyway, happy first day of spring to you guys. I'm so glad again that you decided to hop on with us tonight. Join us on Remove Logic Radio Show. Tonight's segment is brought to you by the Beyond Biz card. It is a virtual business card, and I'm excited about them being one of our sponsors for this segment of Remove Logic. If you are in business and you are wanting to take your business to the next level, this Beyond Business card is a way to almost give you a quantum leap for you and your business. It takes you outside and beyond your local business area, and it expands your business reach to other cities, other states. Look, because it's virtual, we can say other nations. So if you're looking to scale your business and looking for leads and a larger audience, the Beyond Biz card is something that you should look into, and we'll have that information on our Remove Logic website as well as Remove Logic Facebook page. But I want to thank Beyond Business Card for sponsoring this segment, Remove Logic Radio Show. And once again, if you are looking to increase the reach of your business, Beyond Biz Card is really for you to do that. It takes you into the future rather than just handing out that paper card. This is a card that you can or text, and your information is there, and then it captures the information of the person that you are looking or interacting with as well. So Beyond Biz Card is an awesome tool for your business. So if you are interested in it, you can find it on our Remove Logic website, www.removelogic.com. Once again, thank you so much for joining us tonight on Remove Logic Radio. I'm your host, Karen Ray Lacey. We've been talking about for the last few weeks pivoting, and pivot is persevering in victory over transition. So we are moving through something with this segment that we've been in this pivot, just kind of giving some strategies, giving you some new way to looking at your life if you find yourself in a pivot. Remove Logic Radio Show is a place where you can come for solutions. I am an intentional person. I'm intentional about solutions. I'm solution specific things, not just being on the air, but in my daily walk. I'm grateful that you tuned in tonight, and I am intentional about you. Your time is something that I value. So if you stop by, take a listen either tonight or even just circle back around and you listen to a re-air of it. So I just appreciate you showing up. I plan to bring you each week solutions specific to everyday life issues, clarity. Let's look at some of your whys, some how strategies and wisdoms that will lead you not just across the floor, but get you out of the door. And to give value by aligning you through prayer, agreement, and just life application. So I usually have guests on here, or you'll see me, but whatever it is, you can be guaranteed that we are going to give you a topic, an interview, or a discussion that is going to help you to remove the logic that sometimes causes us to be stagnated. We do that through interviews where people who have overcome things, or just simple things in life, or hard things in life, or just some things that we personally need to get over. So, everyday life issues, everyday life concerns, we want to be here for you to help you to get unstuck and applying the Word of God in the process. So, again, thank you so much for joining me on Remove Logic Radio Show. Tonight, we're going to be talking about something that, just kind of came to me earlier today. And again, we're talking about pivoting, because when we look around at the landscape of the nation, we see that there's so much going on. It's like every day, and we are in real time moments where you're seeing it on the news, you're seeing it on TikTok, you're seeing it on Instagram, any social media outlets that you favor, watch, or wherever you may get your news. We're seeing people's lives that are being affected in this nation, things that are out of our control, where programs maybe stopped that you were dependent on, and now you've got to seek other resources. It could be, we're looking at this week, the challenges and the questions regarding Department of Education, where what does that do for our student loans? What does that do? How is that going to impact my child in college? Or even if you're planning to go back to college and, you're going to be needing student loans and you just don't know what to do. Social Security, that's in, circling around. And I don't know about you. Look, I'm 60 years old. So I am praying that whenever it is my time to apply and start getting my Social Security benefits, I want it to be there because I have paid into it. It is an entitlement. It belongs to you. But, it's just so much going on in this nation. And so, jobs are being terminated almost at the drop of a hat, or at the whim of a person making that decision where you have worked, 20, 30 years on a job, and all of a sudden, that job is gone. But I want to just encourage you, not to just speak out all the bad things, but encourage you that even if you find yourself in a pivotal moment and you've got to pivot, to know that you can persevere in victory over this transition. And so, again, pivot. And we talked about that a few weeks ago, and then we talked about the following week again. If you want to go back and listen to any of the Remove Logic episodes, you can find them on my YouTube channel, Remove Logic. And so, but we talked about believing in yourself. And that's one thing. When there's a shift in your life, you have to believe. If you're in a place of rebounding and having to do something different, you got to first believe that you are capable and you're able to accomplish and able to get up. Not give up, but get up. And we talked about that. And then last week, we talked about being intentional. You've got to be intentional for you in this season. If ever is a time to believe in yourself and be intentional on your own behalf, it is now. It is now. And so definitely, if you are in that place, want you to know that you are not alone. It's kind of like this is a community where we are gathering for you. And like I said, you can all go back and look at any of the replays, but this platform is just for such a time as this, where there are so many people that are dealing with so many things. And it's not, doesn't have to just be with money. It could be with, maybe your life has taken a turn due to a health issue, and you just have to have enough faith to believe that you're going to overcome this. And so we want to just be here for you, just sound advice, biblical application, and just human connection. How about that? Just empathy and understanding, and just some wisdom and strategies to help us navigate the times that we find ourselves in. So with that being said, today's show is about reclaiming your time. Reclaiming my time. I'm reclaiming my time, and for those of us in the Black culture that truly understand reclaiming my time, that phrase is used in congressional hearings when politicians are allotted a specific amount of time to speak or question those called to testify at hearings. And if during their allotted time they deem a person is who is testifying to be lying, misleading, drawing out time and wasting time by not answering the question directly with clarity, the congressperson may reclaim their time. And this is allowed within the United States House of Representatives rules and procedures. And most often we attribute that, as far as our culture, to what we affectionately call her as Aunt Maxine Waters. She's a congresswoman, Representative Maxine Waters, the Democrat from California. And so when I thought about this and reclaiming my time, of course, she was the first person that I thought of, because we always hear her say in those hearings, I am reclaiming my time. And so I want to encourage you tonight to reclaim your time. Just let that sink in and just take a moment and think about what that means to you to reclaim your time. What time have you lost, or what time have you wasted? Because we do waste time. What time have you just blown through and not even taking the time to even manage your time? And so just think about tonight's show is reclaiming my time. I am reclaiming my time. Time is valuable. It's valuable to us. It is it's like a currency that God has given us in order to operate in the sphere of this world and space that we're in. Time, and then how you use time can be valuable too. And so when you start to think about reclaiming my time, if there's anything that you lost, or lost some time, I don't know about you. As I said, as I'm getting to my older years, I'm trying to reclaim as much of my time as I can. I was looking on Psychology Today, and you may have heard of this. It's called the 80-20 rule, and it's also known as Pareto's principle. And it says that 80% of the results come from 20% of the effort. 80% of the results come from 20% of the effort. In practice, it means that most, like sales, most when you're shopping and you're looking for products, you don't see all the products. It may be a small amount of the products, but you'll get 80% of the revenue in sales from somebody just seeing 20% of your products, or fewer than 20%. But it also means with time that you might be wasting a large portion of your time. And so, and when we're looking at time, we're talking about your efforts. We're talking about what you're putting into something. Think of what you want to get out of your time. If I'm reclaiming my time, what do I want to get out of my time? For working hours, it might be revenue. Again, time is valuable, and how you use time can be valuable. So it might be an opportunity that you're like, you missed that time, or you missed that moment, or that passed me by, but I want to go do it again. Reclaiming time. And it could be when you're looking at business, number of customers served, or number of products produced, and what was sold. And it might be something very specific, like when you're looking at content, how much content did I put out? And, how much time was my content? And then how many likes, how many views? Or it could be time spent on a job, time, how much am I satisfied with the amount of time that I have used over here? Could I have used it somewhere else? I remember when I was a flight attendant, and I had flown, they flew me from DFW to Chicago O'Hare to work Chicago flights. And so when I got there at 10:30 in the morning, my next flight was at 12:30 in the afternoon. And so I get there, and I'm, just milling around the airport in Chicago O'Hare Airport, going from place to place, sitting in the crew lounge, getting up, going, to get me some lunch or something before this flight at 12:30. And so because of the weather, my first flight was canceled. So they gave me more time sitting in Chicago O'Hare Airport. So here I am pulling my luggage from one place to the other, maybe stopping, looking at some of the shops, or sitting, just some idle time to myself. And then I'm preparing for my next flight, because again, as a flight attendant, you're flying out and flying back, or flying to one destination, and then that plane stays there, and you're boarding these people to fly to your next destination. So at that time, I was working Chicago flights. So it was anywhere within the realm of the region of Chicago that I was flying out. So again, Chicago weather in the winter. So by the time it was time for my next flight, the next leg, that flight was canceled. And this went on throughout my whole day. I got there at 10:30 in the morning. And then I was not released to go into what is called your rest time until 10:30 that night. So I was there from 10:30 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. And, you can only do so much in the airport, dragging your luggage from one place to the other. I spent money, didn't make money, because when you're not flying, you're not making money. So I was using my per diem for lunches and such, but still. And I remember, never forget it, but I remember saying to myself, God, my time is worth more than this. And I was so frustrated because I was captured. My time was captured in a 14-hour day where I was not released. From the point I got to DFW, they gave me my assignment, flew me out to Chicago O'Hare for these flights, but every flight was canceled. But I could not be released until they released me into my rest. And so that was 14 hours of my time that was held hostage. And it that moment caused me to look at the value of my time versus, maybe my pay and the time that I was spending that I felt was wasting. I could have been more productive. So I am reclaiming my time. If I could have done that back then, I would have done it. But now I'm sitting in a place where I also am reclaiming my time. And so even if it's not, as I said, just a career, but it could be personal growth. It could be family time where you spent so much time maybe building your business and now it's time to reclaim your time with your family. It might be some personal development things that you said, you know what, one of these days I want to do this. It might be going back to school and getting that degree that you put off, and hey, reclaim your time and go back to school. Whatever it is, reclaim your time. And Webster defines time is measured or measurable. It's a measured or measurable period during which an action, a process, condition exists or continues. It is continuous sequence of existence of and events that occurs in an apparently irreversible, good word, consider when you're reclaiming your time, events that occurs in an irreversible succession from the past through the present and into the future. It's the continued sequence, and I need to say that again, but even reading it out loud as I was looking at and studying for this tonight's show, just to have some points of reference. It is to look and see the definition of time. It makes you really stop to consider what you're doing with your time. And so, again, it is defined as it is the continued sequence of existence and events that occurs in an apparently irreversible succession from the past through the present and into the future. And that word irreversible, and just to think something being irreversible, and I'm saying to you, I'm reclaiming my time, it makes you stop and consider, what did I do with my time? Like, this is irreversible. How can I get it back? And so, it could be, a time is pointed and is measured in hours, minutes, and seconds, as we know, but it's also time as allotted, available, or used. And when something should something should happen, it's like you've given it this framework and I want it to happen within this period of time, or I want it to be done in this period of time. When something should or be done, or something should happen in this period of time, it's a measure that is taken for a process, an activity, an event, or a person doing something. And so breaking up all of that, the definitions of time, looking at how time is applied, how it is measured, and then the activities of time. It again can be irreversible. And when I say irreversible, reality is, it's like, you going to sleep at 2:00 in the morning and you have to be up at 6. Yes, you're tired, and that's time that is gone. You really don't get that time back. And so the irreversibleness of time. And so when you think about that, and hey, I'm reclaiming my time, that's a definite intentional statement. As we talked last week, we talked about being intentional. And so when you're looking at reclaiming my time, that means I'm going to be intentional about my time. I'm going to value my time. I'm going to consider my time. Look, tonight it might be it's time to start. It might be, well, when will I start? Or it might be, hey, I gotta start. Wherever you find yourself, I would say to you, reclaim your time. Like, don't be mad because last year I said I was gonna do this and I didn't do it. Just reclaim your time and start. a famous tennis player from long ago, and I'm saying long ago, it was when I was a child and young. His name was Arthur Ashe, and I'm sure some of you don't even know who Arthur Ashe is, but he was a black tennis player back in the day, a very successful tennis player at the time. But he said, start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. Start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. So if you're in a place where you are, considerably changing and reclaiming your time, start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. And when you think about the value, time is valuable, and how you use time is valuable as well. And so when you think about, I'm going to reclaim my time, I first have to determine that time is valuable, and how I use my time is valuable. And just that in itself, that's an intentional thought process, an intentional determination that I've determined now that my time is valuable. When you start out doing anything, we talked about last week being intentional. When you're intentional, I was saying to you that when you're intentional with you, it sets up boundaries with others. If you're taking a course and you're studying something and you're not available for a period of time, then that sets up a boundary. I'm intentional about setting this time aside that I'm going to listen to, this podcast, Remove Logic, for an hour. And I'm intentional in setting a course for my time. And then people around you have to now adhere to this time that you have allotted. I'm reclaiming my time. And so when you're intentional about something, it sets up boundaries for others. And it also sets up boundaries for you, a discipline. Earlier today, I had a Zoom meeting from 12 to 1, and that was an allotted time. And I was intentional about that time, and it was valuable time because I set it aside for me, for my personal growth. And so, again, reclaiming your time is first, the reality for us is that time is valuable, that when it's spent, it is spent. It's not that you're saying, yes, I'm reclaiming my time because it was wasted. Just as we talked about in Congress, when they ask a question and the person is not answering the question, just giving a repeated response that really is not giving clarity or giving an answer, they can say, I'm reclaiming my time. And so, of course, it is a statement and an action. But in this instance, it's an action to start. It's an action to reclaim where I have wasted my time, or even just laid it to the side. Perhaps you just not wasted it, but maybe put it off, forgotten about it. But now I'm going to start, and just as I said, start where you are. Use what you have and do what you can. Working to achieve anything is hard, and battling adversity on anything. When you start out doing something, it seems like life starts lifing, and things start coming, your way. When you start this course, and then all of a sudden something else crosses the path. And so reclaiming your time, or just your day-to-day life gets harder when it seems like you're starting out on something. And it's just funny how that happens, but seeing beyond the frustration and seeing beyond the fears to strike at that time, I'm going to do this no matter what. I'm reclaiming my time, and to know that time is valuable, and then how I use time can be valuable. Those are two different thought processes. that sometimes need to be changed. I remember I always worked 8 to 5. That was like my structure. And the opportunity came for me to be on a fully 100% commission job. And so I had to manage my time for that job in order to earn a living. And I never thought that I would be able to do that, because I'm like, okay, you know what? I need structure. I'm not going to do right. I need structure. I need 8 to 5 to hold me in a space of time. And then my exchange would be my paycheck. But when the opportunity came for me to work 100% commission job, it was a shift in my mind. I had to shift how I looked at my time, exchanging for a salary. And so now I was creating, look, my salary or my income, my living, based upon how I use my time. My time became more valuable to me because it was something that I was trading, not for a paycheck, but for results. So how you use time can be valuable. It might be, in college, you have to use your time wisely and study. And the results and the value is to get a good grade and go on to the next level. It could be a career path, and how I use my time and what I want to do, maybe personal growth, going back to school, getting a trade, or even, a new career path, a new decision. But whatever it is, and you're reclaiming your time, you have to first know how you use your time can be valuable. And it's funny how, like I said, when you begin to move in a certain direction, here comes one thing coming in that direction to cross your path to impact your time. Impact your time. Confronting opponents of time. We have to be able to confront those. And I mean to stand and make a decision that even if this, it's not enough time, I'm still going to get this done. Procrastination is an opponent to time. It's opposing the allotted time that you have given, and you put it off. So you have to confront that by doing the exact opposite and remaining diligent with the time that has been allotted, that you yourself control. And then another opponent to time is frustration. I don't know about you, how many you go through something and you get frustrated and you just put it down. Just put it down. I'm done with that. I don't want to do that. It's causing me too much frustration. And I'll pick it up tomorrow. And tomorrow turns into next week, and next week turns into next month, and next month turns into next year. And you 2 or 3 years down the road where you had it in your hand, but you put it down due to frustration. So getting mad at the fact that the results are not proving or releasing what you desire. And so frustration comes and you're put off by the results. And so that's another opponent to time. But any variable that causes you to put it off or just flat out quit, we have to stand in opposition to that when we're saying, I'm reclaiming my time. I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to get frustrated, and I'm not going to procrastinate. I am reclaiming my time. So you've got to give yourself back the time that was lost. Give yourself back the opportunity to do. And give yourself back the belief that you can. So I'm reclaiming my time. You may be facing radical change, as I was talking about earlier. It just some things that may be out of your control, a radical change in your life. And again, with the climate that we're in, it could very well be totally out of your control, with the job market being like it is. It could be again a health issue. whatever it is, if it's a radical change in your life and either at your own doing or out of your control, radical change requires radical action. Radical change requires a radical action. It's like you're countering this with this. And so that could be, look, radical faith. That it could be a radical discipline, a radical shift in your thought process. I'm radically reclaiming my time. You're radically reclaiming your time. You may have to move in something radical against a radical change. You may have to be radical in your faith. Come hell or high water, I know that I believe that I'm going to get this. It could be yet again a radical discipline where patterns that cause you to waste time. Now you've got to change your pattern. So I need to make a radical change in how I do things from now on. Perhaps you are starting over at something, or you're just starting out from something and that you've been thinking about doing, hadn't done it. I believe in it, but I don't know if it's going to work. And you put it off, and now it's time to pick it up again and reclaim your time. Are you just starting something new, something you've never done before? And I'm reclaiming my time. Maybe you never got your degree, and I'm going to go ahead and start college. I'm going to go ahead and go take that course. I'm going to go ahead and go back to school. I was talking to my mother. Actually, I called her, and my mother's 83 years old, and she sent me a message that she's taking a finance course. And so today I spoke with her earlier today, and I was like, Mom, what's going on with this finance course? And because the market, is fluctuating like it is, she is taking a finance course to know where she can place her money and still get a good return. So again, out of your control, but you're being strategic in reclaiming your time when the market is doing what it's doing. Mom's like, I need to know how to continue to make my money work for me. Reclaiming your time, because you want to get something out of that lost time, that time that is irreversible. You want to try to measure now, what can I do to get something out of that lost time? Remember, start where you are and use what you have and do what you can. Reclaiming your time sometimes might be reclaiming your identity. It might be just the fact that, you know what, I knew that I could, but sometimes we just get lost in the sauce, where life does what it does. And then there was something that I was going to do when I was younger that you're still capable of doing now. And I'm not just speaking to those that, are my age or older. I'm speaking to you. Maybe you were in your 20s and then there was something that, hey, at 35, I'm still thinking about that. Reclaim your time. Reclaim your time. Just start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. Reclaiming your identity is a big part of reclaiming your time. You have to listen again to who God says you are. You might have lost that along the way. It may have been a promise, a prophecy, a word that was told, or even an ability that you begin to realize, but because of life circumstance or something happened, you just put it down. Just put it down. And so now you're ready to pick it back up again. Listen to what God says you are, what has been spoken about you, to you, and accept that. Accept what he says you are and reclaim your identity. Instead of comparing yourself, when you look at reclaiming your identity, don't compare yourself to others. Show up and be authentically you, who you are. Just don't look at where somebody else is as opposed to where you are reclaiming your time. Life again does what it does, and we make decisions early in our lives sometimes that impact us, at points where we probably, I could have completed this, but I did this, and as a result of what I did, I had to stop that. So whatever it is, or wherever you find yourself, start where you are and don't compare yourself to others. And and even if it is a comparison, where if it's like, oh, you know what, if they can do it, I can do it. That's the right kind of comparison, not the comparison that puts you down where you're comparing and, oh, I can't do that and I don't have what they have. No, if somebody else completed it, you can complete it too. If somebody else was successful at it, you can be successful at it too. Reclaiming your time. Write down, some things, sufficient expressions. We call them affirmations, and things that you want, or things that you see that, I can. Look, the scripture says I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And so perhaps it's time, as you reclaiming this time, start to give yourself some affirmations, some things where you can affirm some of the skill sets that you already have while you're on the way to gaining others. Reclaiming your time. One of the biggest things about reclaiming your time and reclaiming your identity is forgiving yourself. Perhaps it may have been a mistake that you made, or you feel like it was a mistake, and it caused, look, fracture or a halt, in life plans. But you're now at a place where you can pick it back up. But you got to forgive yourself for whatever decision that was. And when we want to reclaim my time, I have to reclaim my identity and forgive myself for some of the decisions that I've made. Even in procrastination, don't beat yourself up because you put it off. Don't beat yourself up because I didn't get it done within the measurable amount of time that I planned on getting it done. You had to stop in the middle of it, do something else because something came your way. Reclaim your time and forgive yourself. If it is considering something that you've been, I don't know. Journaling is a way to kind of pull some things out of yourself when you're reclaiming your identity. If you want to start writing some things down, write the vision that men may read it, look, and run with it. That whatever it is that's in you begins to take legs outside of you. And sometimes journaling helps us to focus and get our thought processes back in line with what God has said about us, or what we are going to do. We've been sent to do in the earth. So reclaiming my time. And you have to first, again, understand that time is valuable. It's a measurable component of doing something, or within a matter of time, a period of time, getting something done or something happening. And so when you're looking at reclaiming your time, let's start with valuable. Time is valuable. How I use time can be valuable. And then reclaiming my time and reclaiming my identity. And be easy on yourself. I know I'm my hardest critic when it comes to things that I set out to do, and I don't get them done in time. I press myself very hard to do things. I'm very intentional. Once again, I'm intentional about being a solution oriented person. If I see something, I'm big on questioning why or how can it be better, faster, stronger, whatever. Let's get this done. And so in reclaiming your time, do things with love. Don't be hard on you. Don't be hard on others. It could be the opposition is exterior. And you don't want to, be always in a posture of fighting when you're reclaiming your time. Again, when you are intentional with you, it sets up boundaries for others. So it's not necessarily anything that you definitely have to speak to someone. They actually begin to see you walking it out. And so those boundaries and barriers are there because you are operating and moving in a deliberate and intentional state. And so when we're claiming your time, you don't have to be hard on those that maybe are, affecting your time. But set the boundaries, be disciplined, and do it in love. And you may have to sit down and talk to somebody and say, hey, I'm getting ready to do this. I'm getting ready to take this course. I'm not going to be available. I'm getting ready to start my own business. And this is going to require me to be gone, during these periods of time. My focus is not going to be in this area. And so I'm going to need you to maybe pick up the slack in the area where my focus is going to be over here now. Again, in love, do things in love, and just learn how to focus in faith, but then focus in love. And I know that sounds crazy, but when you focus in love, you're driven with a heart of understanding that this new reclaiming my time is going to affect others. It's going to affect those around me as well as me. And so consider that, and make room for you to become in this reclaiming your time. Make room for yourself. Make room for yourself to blossom, to grow, to become more than you thought that you could be, or more than you thought that you could do. Reclaiming your time. And before we prepare to leave, this hour goes by fast on Remove Logic, our radio show. I really like to leave with a summary every time we get ready to part, and just kind of go back over a little bit so that you can apply some of the things that you got in this hours of time. So here we are. We are in a pivotal moment. And I'm going to pick up from here, believe in myself. I'm going to be intentional about what I do. I'm going to be deliberate in my action, and I'm going to reclaim my time, is where we have arrived. I'm reclaiming my time. I'm picking up and doing something that I put off, or something new, something that I procrastinated on. It doesn't have to be a big move. It could be a very small thing. Again, like I said, reclaiming your time with your family. And I've been working, and now I want to turn my attention to my spouse. I want to turn my attention to my children, and I'm going to reclaim some of the time that I lost. And so in that, you now have to identify yourself not as, look, the business owner. I'm mommy, I'm mama, daddy, wife, whatever. You're reclaiming time for your family. And it's not always about money, but it's important to understand that your time is valuable. And so start to track yourself in what you do, and then put away things that are taking away from time, those opponents of your time, procrastination, frustration, things that suffocate your time, that totally snuff it out. You look up and half the day is gone, and I didn't finish or even start what I said I was going to start. And another thing is multitasking. I'm the queen of multitask. But I have to, at the end of the day or the end of the week, see what I accomplished. And sometimes multitasking can cause us to lose our focus, because you may have allotted, hey, this hour is for this today, and then I'm going to give 2 or 3 hours to that. And I look up and I have allotted more time to something that I planned on giving a little bit of time, because I'm multitasking. So focusing is sometimes hard when you're multitasking. Again, be easy on yourself. Don't guilt yourself for what you didn't do. If you didn't do it today, put it at the top of tomorrow's list of things to do. reclaiming my time. And give yourself permission to not do it right, to not get it all done. You know, if it's a day that I need to rest and focus, like I said, journaling, just to pull some new things out, perhaps some creativity in a way that I didn't even think that I could be creative. Sometimes just writing things down, a new process might help you in reclaiming your time. If you're starting something in the middle of something you've been working on. And so now I've got to create a new process or a new system, but I'm reclaiming my time, you know, and as I said, rest, you know, choose the right kind of rest. Rest that is going to be effective and productive for you, you know. And so make a list of your activities, network, committees, whatever it is, family time, you know, maybe make a plan where not only am we're going to spend time together, but it's restful time. It's peaceful time. It's not hurried time. So again, we're talking about reclaiming my time. And when I say that direct, that is a direct statement to yourself. I am reclaiming my time. And that is saying to you and to those around you that I am getting ready to do something where my time is not to be wasted. I am considering time valuable, and how I'm going to use my time is valuable to me, my family, or whatever your project is. Again, I'm going to leave with this. Start where you are, use what you can, use what you have, and do what you can. Start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. Reclaim your time. Reclaim my time. I am reclaiming my time, as Auntie Maxine says. And say it, you know, hey, I'm reclaiming my time, and nobody's going to get this time but me. Again, thank you so much for joining me tonight on Remove Logic Radio Show. I am your host, Karen Ray Lacey. You can find me here every Thursday night at 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. You can see us on Fishbowl Radio Network, which is my radio network, is where we are aired. And then you can also find me on Facebook. You can see previously recorded shows on our YouTube channel. And if you want to connect there, you can reach me at www.removelogic.com. And I also have my personal Facebook page. So if you want to reach out, I'm looking for guests. Also, if you know someone that has a story that, you know, where God turned their ashes into beauty, or even if they had to make a decision to do something different and get up from wherever they were to excel to somewhere else, you know, point them my way. I would love to interview them, because sometimes you don't know the impact of your story until you tell it. And so again, I'm your host, Karen Ray Lacey, and this is Remove Logic Radio Show. If you are looking for a place to grow your business, think about running an ad or even sponsoring a segment on our show. And it's a good way to promote your business. So I do appreciate you stopping by tonight, and I will see you next week. Again, happy first day of spring. I hope that spring is nothing but blessings, doors open, and opportunities for you, your business, your family, your ministry, or whatever you're doing. Just believe in God for you. And thank you so much for stopping by Remove Logic Radio Show tonight. Have a wonderful rest of the week.